Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan. I'm here with a man preparing for his bout with Michael McKinson on March 19th. He is heavy-handed, guitar-playing, gamer, I think, too, rising star Vergil Ortiz Jr. Vergil, how's life treating you?
Hey, everything's been good. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad at all. Quickly, Virgil, one thing I've always wanted to talk to you about is your love for rock music, bit of a gamer too. You don't often see that combination in boxing. Where did that come from?
It just came from my childhood. I've been listening to rock pretty much all my life, since like elementary school. It's just what my dad listens to a lot, so it kind of rubbed off on me. Guitar Hero. I guess that's kind of the same thing, gaming and rock at the same time. So I think it kind of came hand in hand.
Well, you're a shredder with the guitar and you've been shredding in the ring too. How do you reflect on your last year? Obviously, you've kept up this knockout streak of yours, ending all your fights inside the distance. Reflect on the last year, how did it go? But also, is that something that's important for you, ending the fights inside the distance, keeping that streak going?
It's cool to end the fights early, but it's not really it's not something that try to beat myself up about, like, oh, I have to do it, I have to do it. It's never about that. I just the goal for me is always just to win the fight and do so in a orderly fashion, like look good doing it.
With that said, though, as you're taking these steps up in the ranks as to where you want to get to with in terms of fulfilling your dreams, your power has come with you. Where has your power originally come from? Because a lot of fighters kind of say, like, either you kind of train it or it's something you're born with. So for you, what's your answer to that? Where's your power come from?
I think it comes from technique. Because I'm not, if I get in a push-up contest, I'm probably not going to win. I can't do a whole lot of push-ups or lift the heaviest weights. I think it just comes from my technique.
Mm-hmm. So going to the fight, March 19th, as I mentioned earlier, you're fighting Michael McKinson, who we know quite a bit on these shores, who's kind of started to make a name for himself after kind of coming from, I'd probably say the underground, really, and kind of taking his opportunity with Matchroom. And now that sees him take an opportunity against you. What do you know of Michael McKinson coming up with your fight with him?
I know that I pretty much know like what the internet has to offer. I've seen maybe like highlights of a few fights. I know he's a southpaw. I don't know too much about him.
In terms of those fights that you've seen of him, the tape that you have watched, we kind of over these shores kind of see him as having a tricky, sort of unique kind of style. Have you taken that from that? Have you seen that kind of that he might pose a bit of a challenge for you?
Yeah, I've seen the way he fights. He's gonna try to use his trickiness, his southpaw advantage, to try to keep me out and all that stuff. So that's definitely I've observed.
How do you prepare for something like that, Vergil?
We just do what we always do. We just stick to the gym, or we work on a game plan. We come up with one, and we work through it the whole camp.
With that said, then, in terms of kind of getting into the ring, how do you think the fight will actually play out between you two?
I can't really tell you that. It's gonna, I don't know, but it should be a good fight. It should be a competitive fight.
With that challenge that Michael does pose, is that something you kind of want to box off as well in terms of fighting fighters that pose puzzles, pose problems in the ring as well, fighting a different type of style?
Yeah, that's the point. We're supposed to be getting better every fight. So this is a fight that should make you better.
In terms of kind of your place within the welterweight ranks, how far away do you think you feel you are from getting that title shot that you're going to want to be craving?
I don't feel like I'm too far at this point. I feel like if everything goes right, we should be knocking on the door pretty soon.
Is that in this year? Do you reckon you'll be able to get that title shot?
I have no idea. It's up to those promoters or the WBC or whatever, the WBA or whoever. Is really up to them. But me, I just feel like it's coming soon.
With that though, like in terms of your kind of opinion on that, do you kind of, if you had it your way, would you have that title fight this year? Would you be kind of happy to keep gaining experience and keep kind of building yourself?
Of course, it'd be like towards the end of this year.
Okay. In terms of like the welterweights as well, we have a number on these shores that you probably know very well. Conor Benn being kind of the prime one that's kind of out there. He's looking to kind of make his name too, and eventually, well, he last time out he fought Chris Algieri. Is Conor Benn someone who's on your radar? What have you made of his progress?
I think Conor Benn's a pretty good fighter. He's a relentless fighter. He has a lot of power. He's an exciting fighter. I think that's the most important one. No one wants to watch a boring fighter, and he's not a boring fighter. So I think that he's going to be up there.
He himself kind of puts himself in the bracket that you're in right now. Do you, in your opinion, feel that he's in that bracket as well too with you?
I think he's up there. I think he's up there with the top welterweights. I can't pick anyone else over, he's definitely in the top 5. I'll just say that.
Do you ever see yourselves crossing paths anytime soon?
It could possibly happen. I can't say no. So, it's possible.
And we have another big fight coming over these shores too, that being Amir Khan and Kell-Brook coming towards the end of their careers. Amir, I presume, and Kell, I presume as well, were two fighters that you'd watched growing up and watched kind of what they've done and how they've achieved in the sport. How do you see that fight ending?
I don't know. It either goes two ways for me. Either Amir Khan is too fast, too strong, because he, not only is he fast, he has pop behind his punches, or he's just gonna get caught. It's just one of those for me.
Bringing it back to kind of yourself, and in terms of talking about your future, we've mentioned obviously the rising talents that are in the welterweight division. I'm just wondering how you feel about Boots Ennis and kind of who you think will be your kind of main challenger to kind of battle out for that top spot when you kind of get there. Who do you think will be that person?
I'm not too sure about that. Boots he's a good fighter as well. Like I said, there's a whole lot of good welterweight fighters today. We still haven't got rid of the world champions today. That's my main priority right now.
Mm-hmm. And you've made no kind of issue or kind of no bones about wanting to face Terence Crawford in the future. That sort of challenge, like kind of what do you see from Terence in terms of the challenges he poses and just how good of a fighter do you think Terence is?
Well, I think it speaks for himself. He's like number 2 pound for pound. He's a good fighter. There's no doubt about that. And he has speed. He's a very smart fighter. I think that's the number one thing about him. He's a very smart fighter, and I think that in itself, that poses the biggest challenge of them all.
In terms of challenges for you, do you ever look at the kind of the other side of it's great with you that you've got this knockout power and you're ending fights within the distance, Vergil, but the other side of the coin on that is that you haven't gone the distance as of yet. Is that something that you kind of actively want to do in a way and get those rounds banked so that you kind of know when it comes to getting through the ropes, you can do that and go the full distance, as it were?
Yeah, I would like to do it one day. I know it's not to know that I can, because I know I can. And, the last fight, I swear I wasn't even tired. But it's more like just get the experience in. I know I can do it, just to say that, I've gone to 12 rounds just to see how I look, just in case we need to polish anything else. But other than that, I know I can.
Vergil, my final question to you is, and I'll leave the final word with you. March 19th, your fight with Michael McKinson. Tell me, Vergil, what happens?
Expect a good fight. Of course, I'm going to go in there to win. And, just stay tuned.
Vergil, I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for speaking to Boxing Social.